Hello my dear students. Today I will explain you about the particle in one dimensional box. That is the most important application for Schrodinger time independent wave equation. In my previous video lecture I already explained you about the Schrodinger time dependent wave equation and time independent wave equation. Okay, so here it is the application of the Schrodinger time independent wave equation. So see how we apply the Schrodinger wave equation in one dimensional box. So here I am considering a particle. Suppose we have a electron, okay, and that electron has the mass m and energy capital E, and that electron is moving in plus x direction with v velocity in one dimensional potential box. So that potential box has dimension small a. It means it is the width of the 1D box, and at the wall the potential energy of the particle is infinite, so it is considered as a infinite potential energy at the wall and outside the box. But here within the box the potential energy I am considering the 0, because in within the box the any type of the forces cannot act on that moving particle. That's why the potential difference will be constant at any point within this box. So the potential constant here I am considering as a 0. So that kind of we have problem in one dimensional box, and I am applying the Schrodinger time independent wave equation on that particle. So from that equation, here I want to find out the information about this electron. Okay, here that is the particle. So I want to find the energy and the wave function. Wave function, it means that wave function will be explained the behavior of that given particle. So if you derive the wave function, that wave function will have the all information about this moving particle in one dimensional box. So the potential energy we can take like that. Within the box the potential energy is 0, and for 0 this one the width of the 1D box. So the x will be like that between 0 to small a. So the particle will be moved within this width of this box. So the potential energy here I am considering within the box 0 and infinite. For the x is equal to 0, it means at the first wall this one. So the potential energy will be 0, and less than this 0, it means that part. Okay. So here you can consider like that this one first region, this one second region, and this one third region. So in first region and third region, the potential energy will be infinite, and in second region, the potential energy will be 0. And our case only within this box. Okay? I don't want to find out the wave function outside this box. It means in first region and third region. So please focus on that particle within this box which has the width small a. So we have the Schrodinger time independent wave equation like that. So that thing already I derived that equation. So this one, the Schrodinger wave equation, d2 psi upon dx square plus 2me upon h cross square psi of x is equal to 0. So that is the for free space. Complete equation we have like that, d2 psi upon dx square plus 2m upon h cross square e minus v. Okay, psi of x is equal to 0. So here I am taking the potential energy 0. So put that value 0. So after that, that equation will be like that. So that is the Schrodinger time independent wave equation for one dimensional. And here 2me upon h cross square I am considering as a capital K square. So K square is a constant. Okay, and that constant I will find out after that we got solution of that given equation. So here that constant capital K square I am considering like that, K square is the 2me upon h cross square. Here the 2me upon h cross square. So I put the K square, so that will be the K under root 2me upon h cross square. Okay, so that values you have to remind, because I will use that equation. So that is the second order differential equation mathematically. Okay, and a general solution of that second order differential equation we have like that, psi of x is equal to a sin kx plus b cos kx. So it is a general solution of that equation. We have what we have, the d2 upon dx square plus k square psi of x is equal to 0. Okay, so that that equation is the solution of that equation. And now I'm using the boundary condition. Boundary condition, it means in one dimensional box at x is equal to 0, that is the first wall of this box. So that is the first boundary condition. And at x is equal to a, that is the second wall of this one dimensional box. So it will be the second boundary condition. So here first I am applying the first boundary condition at x is equal to 0. So at that wall the function of the particle will always be 0. Okay, so that's why here I am putting the psi of x is equal to 0. Psi of x is equal to 0, it means suppose you are in your room, and if you have the some balls, and that balls collide with this wall of that room. So after the motion of this ball, it will take the some times, and after that will the all balls will be at rest position. But even a single balls cannot be raised at the close of the wall. it means the psi function will be the 0. Here, these balls will be represented by this psi function. So the psi function of that ball will be 0. That's why here I am taking the psi is equal to 0. Got it? So if you put in that given equation at x is equal to 0, so sine 0 is equal to 0, and if you put here x is equal to 0, cos 0 is equal to 1. So that equation psi of x will be 0. So 0, that will be 0, and that will be 1. Okay? So from that equation, first boundary condition, we got the unknown constant which we had b. So b will be 0. Okay? Now that equation b put here in that equation. So here b will be 0. So the function, wave function will be like that. Psi of x is equal to a sine kx. And after that equation, you have to apply the second boundary condition. It means in one-dimensional box, after collide the particle with this wall, the particle will be moved toward the second wall of that box. So that motion of that particle will be like that equation, a sine kx. So that equation is traveling toward the second wall of the box. So that's why the second boundary condition will be applied only on that given equation. So that is the second boundary at the x is equal to a. So at the second boundary, the wave function will also be 0. So put that value here 0, and a sine at the x is equal to a. So put the x is equal to a here. So it will be the 0 a sine ka. So that value sine ka is the 0, and that will be 0 if we have the ka is equal to n pi. Okay? Because at the n pi, the sine value always will be the 0. So here the k should be equal to n pi, and from that equation we got the value of that k. So k will be n pi upon a. Okay? So in given equation, we got that value a, but still we didn't get what is the capital A. So to find out the value of the capital A, we have to apply the normalization condition. So according to the normalization condition, we have formula like that. Integral 0 to a magnitude of psi of x square dx is equal to 1. And here psi of x is equal to this one, a sine square kx dx, this one. And the sine square, you can write like that, 1 minus cos 2 kx, because there is no integration of the sine square function. That's why you have to convert into the 1 minus cos 2x. So after solution of that equation, you will get like that, because here already we got the k is equal to n pi upon a. That's why I put that value here, and putting the lower limit and upper limit of this integration. So at the lower limit, if you put the x is equal to 0, then sine 0 will be 0. So here at the lower limit, that value will be 0, and at the a upper limit, if you put x is equal to a, then it will be cancel out a, and you got sine 2 n pi. So sine 2 n pi also will be 0. So for the lower limit and upper limit, that part will always be 0. So here, if you solve that equation, what you got? The value of the capital A. So the capital A will be like that, under root 2 upon A. So that value put in that given equation, the capital A, and put the value of the K. So after the putting these all values in that equation, you will get the eigenwave function of the one-dimensional box like that. So that is the eigenwave function of the one-dimensional box, and that function has the all information about the moving particle in one-dimensional box. Okay, so sin nx is equal to under root 2 upon a sin n pi upon a x. It is called the eigenwave function of the one-dimensional box. And here already I mentioned you that the capital K square is the 2me upon h cross square, and K already we got that value n pi upon a. So put that value here. So it will be n square pi square upon a square here, and the energy will be like that. En is equal to n square pi square h cross square upon 2m a square, and it is called the eigen energy value of the one dimension of the particle in one dimensional box. It is called the eigen energy value. Okay. In given equation, the h cross is also Planck constant, which is the h upon 2 pi. Okay, and small a in given formula, the small a is the width of the one-dimensional box. M is the mass of the moving particle. Okay, so from that information, h cross is the constant, pi is the constant, and n is the number of the energy level. If you put the n is equal to 1, then it will be the ground state energy level. If you put n is equal to 2, then it will be the first excited state energy level. So after the putting the all values, you will definitely get the energy of the given particle, which is moving in the one-dimensional box. So if you put n is equal to 1, the ground state energy of the moving particle in one-dimensional box will be pi square h cross square upon 2m square. And if you put n is equal to 2, means first excited state energy, then it will be the like that, 4 pi square h cross square upon 2m square. And pi square h cross square upon 2m square is E1. So you can put that value also here, E1. So it will be the 4E1. And similar for E3, it will be like 9E1. Okay. So the all energy value you can write in ratio form like that, 1, ratio 4, ratio 9, and ratio 16. It means as a particle get the higher energy level, okay, the separation between the energy level will also be increased. That's why here I am drawing the energy level diagram of that given equation. So in that diagram, that is the ground state energy. This one first excited state energy, this one second excited state energy. Okay, so that separation between the energy level is gradually increased. So that separation should be increased in your diagram. Now, second information about the wave function. So if you draw the wave function for the ground state, means n is equal to 1, so the particle will be move like that. So that is the trajectory of the moving particle at the ground state energy level. And if the particle at the first excited state, the trajectory path of the moving particle will be like that. If the particle in the second excited state, the trajectory of the moving particle will be like that. And the probability of that given function at the ground state will be like that. It means at the center of that box, the maximum probability of the particle will be lie at the center of that box. So from that diagram, from that equation, from that probability function, you can find out the probability of the particle. It means if we want to find out the particle, so from that probability function, we can determine, we can find out the particle within the box. So at the first excited state, if you put the n is equal to 1, so the probability of the function will be like that. It means in first excited state, that is the first excited state probability function. It means that at the center of the box, the probability of the particle will be 0. Okay? But at the fourth region of that particle, the probability of the particle will be maxima. So that is the diagram will show the finding particle within this box. And that diagram is the energy level diagram. Okay? So that is the all information about the moving particle in one-dimensional box. So thank you very much.